So guys, what Kawasaki did here is they went into their design bin and pulled one of their most popular engines ever, the 997cc engine out of the Ninja, and wrapped it in a sport touring package. So this is a tried and true engine. Now, it had about 10 horsepower more in the Ninja. The reason they detuned it a little bit was to give it more torque. This has substantially more torque than the Ninja and a few horsepower less. They went with a little bit smaller carburetors, a little bit less radical cam, and of course tuned it for cross-country sport touring riding. So it still had the high performance engine. It was just set up for cross-country riding. Now, these things make excellent commuters also. 7.5 gallons it's a massive fuel tank that will get you down the road and back with no trouble. Kawasaki made the Concours for 20 years, from 1984 to 2004, and most of the major revisions were done the major revisions were made by, and this bike includes all of those major revisions. It has a new front wheel, it had a better front brake system, it had improved forks, it had a new instrument cluster, and new controls. So basically the whole front end was revised and modernized. Straight from the factory with this full fairing, which gives you a 3/4, if not full body coverage, and these massive saddlebags, which are removable. You can take them into the hotel like Samsonite luggage. So unlike some of the other touring bikes, the Venture Royale Yamaha had, or some of the other Japanese bikes, they went more of a European flair. By that, they kept it, the sport side of it, more than making it a massive bloated touring bike like a Harley full dresser or something like that. So basically, you've got your Ninja engine in frame, and they put a new subframe on the front. From here forward is a little bit different. The rake and trail, and the subframe on the rear is different. And it has shaft drive on the back instead of chain, which is what most sport touring riders demand. It's a little cleaner, a little quieter, and no maintenance. The major competition for this model was the BMW, of course, and they went head-to-head with BMW, but the thing is, the price of this bike was like almost 40% less than an equivalent brand new BMW. And when Motorcyclist magazine got their hands on it, and I quote, they did a shootout between the BMW and the Kawasaki, and it said the most practical, useful, and competent motorcycle ever made is the Kawasaki Concours. So they developed somewhat of a cult following. People that know what these bikes are know how good they are. They're outstanding for daily commuters. There's even a guy who had a YouTuber that I watched one of his videos this morning that actually went cross country right up Canada from coast to coast down a lot of dirt roads and everything. So it's not an adventure bike, but they have been used as adventure bikes, commuter bikes. It's got the heart of a lion with that Ninja engine, but it's set up for the long haul. They're affordable. They were substantially less money than the BMW. So, and a lot of people are faithful to Kawasaki. This is kind of like the Kawasaki KLR 650 of motorcycles. The KLR may not be the fastest or the most exclusive or the most powerful, but I have one. I mean, I've got 300 bikes at my disposal. We have a gas dealership. I have a KLR 650 in there. I affectionately nicknamed Big Black. You guys who watch the channel know about that bike. It's an 04. I absolutely love the bike. I'll probably keep it forever. And this is like that. The people who've had a Concours understand. I went riding on this morning. The seating position is perfectly comfortable for all-day rides. The saddle's nice and comfortable. The passenger pillion's really about as good as you'd find on a full dresser. It's at least 14 inches, 15 inches across, and it's got about 4 inches of padding, so it's super comfy for your wife on the back. And the exhaust system, it has a stock original exhaust, which is nice and quiet. We went right through this bike. This isn't your average used Craigslist, just needs a carb clean Concours. This is a excellent original condition. It's all original paint. We've added some real nice upgrades on it. We just put this brand new smoked windscreen on here. The mechanic went through the bike top to bottom, front to back. I'll grab the work order and tell you what he did. Started off by putting a brand new battery in it. Added on this eBay windshield that he imported from Poland, and it is quite outstanding. It got good reviews, and he did some research, and it's a perfect height. Has a little spin up on the front top there to wind foil to keep the wind out of your face. Put brand new NGK spark plugs in it, and put a brand new set of tires on it. Changed the oil filter, the air filter, and gave the carbs a complete rebuild. Mechanic removed the carbs, micro drilled the pilot jets, completely dismantled the carbs, cleaned and rebuilt them, set the fuel screws, put it back together and synchronized the carbs, changed the oil and filter, put the new plugs in, and you know, he micro drilled the pilot jets, so this thing runs better than it did brand new. It's actually jetted better than it was new because it came kind of lean. New valve stems, greased the axles, greased the rear drive splines, cleaned and honed the rear brake caliper. The brake pads are 80%, and just gave it a full going over top to bottom, front to back. He didn't skimp on the tires. He went with these are brand new. They have less than 10 miles on them. They still have the hairy nubs on them. These are brand new Metzler Marathon ME 888 front tire with a matching Metzler rear tire, brand spanking new. Perfect sport touring tire. The brakes are perfect. The exhaust is perfect. The clutch and transmission, all the electronics work beautifully. The odometer's just showing 42,000 miles, which is low miles for this year motorcycle. And these engines are known to regularly go 60, 80, 100,000 plus miles with very little service. Just change the oil, keep a clean air filter in it, and it was adult owned. No evidence of it being smashed, crashed, or left outside. The chrome still looks good. It's a really clean example, and the original paint shines beautifully on it. It went through the detail shop where it was given a full Monty, what we call a rotisserie detail, where it was hand washed, steam cleaned. We used a Carnauba paste wax cleaner, and then we put a coat of after the paint was buffed, this brilliant shine, it was given a coat of polymer sealant called New Coat that we put on the bikes. So it's a once a year sealant, and it's looking about as good as it did the day it rolled off the showroom floor. So a new 1000cc sport touring bike is going to set you back $15,000, $20,000+. This one's can be registered as an antique. It runs beautifully. It has brand new tires, carbs have been done, new battery. It's detailed. It's ready to go cross country or wherever you want to go for a fraction of what a new one would cost. That's the good news. The bad news is we've got 21 hours of shop labor between doing the brakes, the carbs, the tires, the battery, going through the whole thing mechanically, and then sending it through the detail shop, plus the parts. So the invoice, the work order I have for it is $2,975 without tax. That's just labor and parts. It all adds up, but if you're gonna buy one off of Craigslist that just needs a carb clean and a windshield and tires and battery and all this, you better have a few nights and weekends and a highly skilled mechanic like the Manic Mechanic who's gonna work for free, because doing the carbs on these is no joke. Once they're done, it's good for another. If you run ethanol-free fuel from VP, you'll never gum up the carbs. But if you leave it sitting for 6 months or a year with pump gas in it, which we don't, this is VP ethanol-free fuel in these carbs. That's all we run in the bikes that we restore, because if you let them sit around, you never know. That they say it's 10% ethanol. It might be 20, might be a little more or less, because once you get down to the bottom of the tank, who knows how much ethanol is in there, or water. So you pay a premium for the VP. The VP gas costs us over $20 a gallon. It's $90 for a 5-gallon can. Dealer cost, so it's expensive. But you don't have to run VP in it. I'd run pump gas all summer long, but the last tanker fuel that you put through it, run the pump gas out and run some VP through the carbs. And come springtime, plug in the battery tender, leave it charging all winter, and she'll fire right up and be ready to go. Again, new tires, brakes, everything's done. She's ready to go. If you have any questions, call us 860-454-7024 and get yourself one of the best of a generation, the Concours 1000. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.